eBay unboxing. So, what's up? Now, this box is way too light for the item I ordered. So as you can see, I haven't opened it. It's taped shut. So if anything happens, you're a witness. So stay tuned while I attempt to open it and see if the item I ordered is inside. And how appropriate for this. Watch this now. This is actually funny. A bulldog and a dog food box. How cute is that? Okay, so let me show him to you. Hang on there 1 second while I get him out. So here he is. He's a cute little mohair Steiff looking, well, Steiff wannabe, I call it, bulldog. And so a lot of people who actually really don't collect Steiff, but actually know about Steiff mohair animals that were made in Germany, would assume that this is a mohair Steiff dog. And the truth is it's not. And it's supposed to be an American product, and it was made by a company called Gund. And we all have heard of Gund. Now, Gund is still in business. I think Gund has been in business since the late 1800s. And it's a plush producing factory that makes plush toys. And so this bulldog looks very, very patriotic, doesn't he? So if you notice, he's wearing a cowboy hat and a patriotic little coat with collar. So he's got the little white star, the red collar, and the blue coat. So he looks like an American cowboy bulldog. But nonetheless, this was Japanese. And I'll show you why. So now this product by Gund is actually Japanese. So let's take a look at the tag. So this was probably made post-World War II, probably sometime in the late 40s. It says a Gundaful creation. And then you see Japan. Now on the back, it says TM, trademark, Gund Manufacturing Company, J. Swedlin Incorporated. Now, J. Swedlin was a worker for, I think, Adolf Gund. I think his first name was Adolf. And Adolf Gund actually wanted to retire. And J. Swedlin was a great worker of Adolf's. And he wanted to buy the company. And actually, Gund sold it to him for a really, really cheap price. And Swedlin took over the company of Gund and created the stuffed and plush toy line that Gund was known for, and he kept up the quality. But what had happened was cheap Asian imports started taking over the industry. So the toy industry was having a lot of issues. So for example, Steiff in Germany was having a lot of trouble keeping up with the cheap Asian imports. So were other German toy makers as well. England was having problems dealing with the cheap Asian imports that were flooding the market as well. A lot of the cheap Asian imports undercut the British and European factories, including American factories, by a heck of a lot, because Japanese imports were primarily dime store items, which included, you'll see a lot of tin toys, like tin friction and mechanical toys. Most of them, 9 times out of 10, it says made in Japan or occupied Japan. They made lots of dime store type of products, including, and not in, it goes on and on and on, the amount of products that they made really cheaply, undercutting the Americans, the Europeans, and the British, actually the whole world. So they made such things as ceramic figures, plastic pieces, planters, the toys, even automotive parts, electronics. So it was due because they had low production costs in materials, equipment, shipping, quality control, and labor. So we could not keep up with them. Neither could the Europeans or the British or the world. And so this is what happened. Now think about it. Think of all the Americans who were working in factories, all the British people that were working in factories, all the European people that were working in factories to put food on the table for their families, who suddenly lost their jobs because of the cheap Asian imports. Does that sound familiar? Fast forward to today, and China has that industry down pat. So here's an example of a post-World War II Japanese cheap Asian import toy that was undercutting all the toy factories and became actually the new toy product that you were seeing on shelves because people did not want to pay more. And since people did not want to pay more, lots of people lost their good paying jobs. and can no longer put food on the table for their families, which is very similar to today with products that you buy in places such as Walmart, Amazon.com, on eBay. And so back then, Japan was the problem. Today, for Americans especially, China is the problem. And I'm not against Japanese or Asian people. And I'm not saying anything like negatively about them to be mean, but this is a part of history. And so is this toy showing you that the problem that we see today was not actually a problem of today. It was going on for way before most of us were born. So once again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And so here's an example of the cheap Asian imports that were putting a lot of American factories, well, toy factories and other kinds of factories out of business. Thanks so much for watching.